Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a coaching video, and in this video I'm going to be showing a few charts that my members requested over in Telegram in the premium group. And the reason I picked these charts, of course I requested many others, but the reason I'm picking these specific charts is because most of them are coins that fall into the group of platforms to build decentralized applications. I made a video on YouTube a few days ago, the 6th of March. It was the 5th of March for some people in the other side of the planet. For me, it was the 6th of March. It's on my website, but it's also on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's called ETH and Similar Platforms. So I was reviewing Ethereum, EOS, NEO, Icon, Cardano, all these platforms to build decentralized applications. And I was saying in this video that these platforms are going bearish even worse than other types of coins. And now please don't give me this again, telling me that they are bearish because 90% of the market is bearish. I know the markets are bearish as a whole, but these types of platforms are doing, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are doing even worse than other types of coins. And the reason is very simple. These types of platforms, these have done extremely well, much better than other types of coins during the past altcoin season. So it's just logic. What goes up must go down, and what goes down must go up. So the platforms that did best in the past season, they're going to be the ones doing worse during the bear season. Look at NEO, if not, so we had seasons in altcoins where, for example, privacy coins did extremely well, and then during the bear season they did extremely bad, worse than other types of coins. And well, for the past season, these types of platforms for decentralized applications were very hot. It was a very hot topic, and they did better than others, and now they are doing worse than others. Not all of them, but I'm saying majority of them. So it's funny because when all these platforms, Ethereum, EOS, NEO, when they were near the all-time highs, many people were requesting, asking me to please review these coins because they were interested in buying. And it comes to show how 90% of people will buy on the highs instead of thinking logically and seeing the chart for what it is and seeing that it's gone up too much too fast and it's probably overextended in the upside and it'll start to go down heavily at some point soon. No, what people want to do is buy on the way up and chasing green candles. That's why many of my users were requesting these types of platforms near the all-time high. So let's see. So the first one was Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So we were right here, and I said I entered the short. It's very possible the price continues up even higher than the stop loss. I don't mind personally. I will keep the position until the moving averages cross, meaning until they cross bullish again. I'm gonna continue to be bearish until proven wrong, until they cross bullish. So whenever that is, if I change my mind, I will update on it for the members. Of course, I'm entitled to change my mind at any time. If something unexpected happens, I'm going to change my strategy as fast as possible to minimize my losses or maximize my profits. But it hasn't been the case. So I don't have time to babysit, so I just entered it now. Overall, I'm happy with this entry, which means I think this is the right entry, but it's possible that it goes to the next Fibonacci line up or even the next one up. The next one up was 38.2, which is a very, very common Fib line, and the next one was 50%. It was very possible that the price would continue to go up here before, entering the, the long bear trend. Let's see what happens since then. So that is the chart. This was my entry, and since then it's been going down. So this entry was a spot on, and now it's bouncing, but it's normal because nothing is going to go in the same direction, showing only red candles forever until it hits the bottom. No, it'll be bouncing. So this is what I always say. During bear trends or bear markets, the price will bounce to touch moving average and then bounce off and go lower, and then bounce again, touch moving average, and then go lower. And in these bounces is when people get excited buying dips, which, you know, I will never understand how it, you know, it takes so long for some people to learn this lesson. You don't buy dips in a bear trend. Bounces are normal. They are bounces. They're not reversals. When we are uptrending, we bounce on top of the moving average and go higher, bounce on moving average and go higher, bounce on moving average and go higher. When we go bearish, when it's usually when moving averages cross bearish, that's your, you know, your main sign here. And I know you're not gonna get the perfect top, but so what? If you've been buying down here, then you're still in a 100% profit. So you don't need to catch the perfect top or bottom. I mean, if you're here for the popularity, then yeah, keep calling tops and bottoms. But if you're here for the profit, then you don't need to catch the perfect top or bottom and able to make money consistently. Now, what's important, it's not fighting the trend. So this started to go down here. Now it's bouncing just to touch moving average, and it'll probably continue lower. It's possible it continues higher from here to the next moving average. It might go above my entry level and I enter the red, you know, the red area before continuing lower. I am not closing my position. All I'm gonna do is lower my stop loss. Well, I don't have a stop loss set, but I look at the charts mostly daily. So this is the daily chart. I have time to react. If the price goes near the previous high here, that's gonna be a warning. I might exit. I will have to take the analysis day by day. But so far, it's just, you know, it's just doing exactly what I expected. Go down, bounce on moving average, go lower, bounce on moving average. And my expected target down is all the way down here, which is where we have the first, you know, trend line support here. So I would expect a bear market to touch this line wherever the price is by the time it gets down here. If it gets down here, many things can happen on the way, but so far, look at all this empty space here floating in mid-air. This gap needs to be closed. It needs to be filled. So I would expect at least 0.06 as a first target. If I see a reversal here, I might take profits, but I will take the analysis day by day, and my idea is to hold it all the way down, unless, of course, I see a reversal before we get down there. And if it takes longer, then, you know, then the speed of my line here is, say, it goes very, very slow here, well, then, you know, my profit target is going to be above, because this is a diagonal line. So wherever it is that the price touches this line, that's my main target, unless anything changes. Okay, what's the next chart? So this one is for Ethereum versus the dollar. So we were exactly here. I am selling some ETH right now. We have 3 bearish confirmations. Look at this. Look at the circles. So the 50% Fibonacci line here. The moving average just crossed a bearish. This is a very, very strong signal. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a lot more than not. And the RSI overbought. So you see, these are 3 confirmations. So you don't have to do what I do, but I am selling 50% of my trading position, and I don't care what happens after. Meaning, I am selling for fiat, you know, 15% of my Ethereum right here, because I bought down here, so I'm more or less in 100% profit. And if this continues to go up, I don't care. I don't care what happens after, because I'm selling 50%, only 15%. So if it goes up, I'll continue to enjoy my profits. If it goes down, then I doubled my money. This 15% of my position, I just doubled my fiat valuation, and it goes in my bank account, and it's gonna stay there. Because it's always smart to sell, you know, on this, you know, into the strength, and then you can buy later if it goes all the way down to the ground. And if it doesn't go all the way down to the ground, say it bounces soon here and continues to go up, well, you're enjoying the rest of the 75% of the position, right? So let's see what happened since then. And this is the chart. So sold for fiat right here. That's, you know, it was my 50% fib line. Moving average crossed and RSI oversold. What happened after that? Boom, it went down. And remember when we were going up here, it was only going up and up and up, not only Ethereum, but the rest of the market. Everybody was so excited that we hit bottom here. And from here, it was only recovery and we were going to break the all-time highs. When everybody gets excited the most, that's a red flag. You need to be selling there because that means selling into this strength. So since then, I sold for almost $1,000. It's by now 675. So, and it's expected to continue to go down. And this line here, which would be for a 100% retracement since this bounce. So this what everybody called is the absolute bottom. It went up from here, but if it goes down to the same level, then this means it's 100% correction since this bounce here. So if it does go to 100% correction, I don't think by probability this line will hold. The reason is this line has been tested 1 time, 2 times, 3 times in a short period of time. So the more times one line is tested in a short period of time, the weaker it becomes. The 3rd time is usually the moment of truth when lines are broken. And the next support we have here, the next obvious support, it's going to be for this main trend line here, back to reality, for around whatever the price is when it gets down here, 450, something like that. Again, I find it very, very likely it's going to go down here because, again, look at all this gap here, all this parabolic movement without creating any support or resistance. This gap needs to be filled, and this gap is going to be more or less at 450, I don't know exactly, 460, whatever the price is by the time it touches this line, but somewhere there. So that's my projection and my coaching for Ethereum. What's the next chart we had? Icon, see, like all these platforms to build decentralized applications. I only opened this chart and I didn't even need to draw any lines, and we don't have a lot of history here, but it doesn't really matter. This doesn't get any more bullish, any more bearish. In any case, if you're looking to sell, maybe wait for a bounce. I'm not sure if this is going to bounce, but as I always say, during bear markets, price tends to bounce to touch moving average before going lower. So you see, it happened here almost, it happened here, creating a rejection wick. So it might go lower before it bounces and it touches moving average, but this doesn't get any more bearish. And look at all this gap here again. I don't have any more history. This coin is very new, I think, but look at all this gap that needs to be closed. So bearish. So let's see what happened since then. We have the chart here. So the price was exactly at this horizontal line that I draw here. I draw it here before starting this video to have an idea where the price was when I reviewed this chart. And since then, it's gone down some here. It's been going down all these days. 13%. Like, it looks small, but 13% is a lot actually. So again, it doesn't get any more bearish. It's expected to, at some point, bounce to touch moving average and go lower. I don't really have anything more to say about this one. It's really, really bearish. NEO was a very requested one. So let me show the chart here. This is the picture I posted. So at the time, the members requested it. So NEO versus Bitcoin. Ideally, you would like to see big volume increasing at the breakout, otherwise not good. So if you don't see a breakout from the previous high with significant volume, it's very risky to enter. This has gone up a lot. Look, it's not impossible that it continues to go up because we had a bullish cross here and it's been going up since. So you need to assume continuation. It might continue to go up because we are still uptrending. However, if it doesn't break the all-time highs here, since everything has gone up too much too quick, it's possible we're reaching a top, we're near a top, so not good to enter now. It's, smart to take profits here. And surprise, surprise, this was the absolute top, exactly when people were requesting this chart because they were interested in buying, and it was at the very top. Let's see the chart today. It was exactly here when they were asking for this chart. It touched here, I think, and it was going up here. It was in this bounce exactly. And since then, what did we get? Boom, boom, boom. So this You can argue that it's gone down a lot already. It doesn't matter. It's super high. This is a very good time to take profits in NEO if you have been, buying cheap, because the moving averages just crossed bearish not that long ago. So it might bounce. We might get a bounce to touch moving average, but we might not, because this is actually already forming a continuation pattern. So I would expect to go down from here. It might not even bounce until we go down much lower. This is expected that from here go into a an average of 3 months bear market, correcting 90% since the highs, 80-90%. And I will, as usual, get a lot of hate for saying this, especially for a NEO, because it's a very, very hyped coin. But I don't care. Come to this chart 3 months from now and see it all the way down to the ground. Probably this is doing an assessment of probabilities. Of course, I don't know the future, but look at the technicals. It doesn't get any more bearish. It screams everywhere top, long-term top here. So is, in my opinion, a great time to take profits here. It's not that low. It's gone down a lot, but it's still really, really, really high comparing with other coins that have already gone into a long bear market. Which takes me to the next chart, which I believe is NEO versus the US dollar. Here, so the same day people were asking here, it was bouncing on the what people called the absolute bottom. It was bouncing here. It was super high. This was a bull trap, very clear. But everybody was hyping it again, calling this the bottom, and now we're just going higher. I said NEO USD moving averages about to cross bearish. I don't own any NEO, but if I did, I would be taking profits from 120 to 140. We were at 116.5, as you can see the price here. Let's see what happened here. And by the way, when I made this video on YouTube a few days ago saying these platforms are going bearish, look at the comments, look at how many people were denying reality, and they were, no, we just bounced at the bottom. From here we're going higher. The price is right at the Fibonacci level, and now it's bouncing. No, guys, now see things for what they are. So let's see what happened since NEO US dollar. So we were here, I draw this black line here, we were exactly at 116.5, bouncing right here at the wick of this candle. So this, let me zoom in, we have this long green candle, and the next candle was a very long green candle again, and we were right up here. This candle was green at the moment, so it was all, it was the perfect bull trap. It was looking like it was going bullish again, so many people got trapped here. And what did I say? That a good time to take profits would be between 120 and 140. Why did I say that? Because of the Fibonacci lines here. The 61.8, it's at $128, and the 78.6 was at $146. So anywhere between 120 and 140, I said it was good to take profits. And look at this, wasn't it perfect to take profits there from here to here? I mean, since then we are now at $82. So this was a clear bull trap, and it's the classic bull trap you get in bubbles. I mean, I'm sure most of you have seen the bubble model chart showing, when it goes up, it's exponential, then it crashes, then we have a bull trap when everybody is calling for the return to normal. When you see the comments and everywhere all over the social media, people saying we're back in track, we're back to normal, we're higher from here, that is that is the return to normal phase on a bubble chart. I mean, you have to pay attention to these types of things. Also, the market sentiment, when people most people really believes we're going back to normal, after we had this exponential run up and exponential run down, and everybody's calling for a return to normal, that should be a big red flag. And that's exactly what I saw for a NEO. And now the last chart, this is not for decentralized applications, but I thought it'd be interesting as well to review it. It was for Veritasium. I had few members requesting this. So Veritasium versus Bitcoin. It was down here at the 61.8 fib line, and it was bouncing, and I said short here. Sorry for the spelling, this is meant to be a short here only if there's a reversal with confirmation. So I was saying wait for this bounce. What this means is wait for this bounce and short here at the 38.2. You could be shorting this, you know, and if you are right, you can increase your Bitcoin valuation. And so what happened since then, it's exactly what I called. I mean, we didn't get to touch the 38.2. Why? Because we are in a bear market, and in bear markets, moving averages act as a very strong resistance, just like they are very strong support in bull markets. So it just touched moving average, as you can see here. Let me zoom in. But this is, you know, it was something easy. Anyone could have seen, like, you would have shorted as soon as it touches moving average. You're not going to get the exact same price. Sometimes you're going to miss it for a little bit. Sometimes it's going to go run it for a little bit. So, but you need to be paying attention to the moving averages, because moving averages are the strongest support or resistance, depending if we are bullish or bearish. But I repeated this like over and over since I started my YouTube channel. In bear markets, price touch moving average, bounce off and go lower, touch moving average, bounce off and go lower, touch moving average, bounce and go lower. Just like in bull markets, touch moving average, go higher, touch moving average, go higher, touch moving average, go higher. It's very easy. So you in a bull market, you buy the dips when it bounces on moving average, and in bear markets you short when it touches moving average before it goes lower, when it's reversing. So that was a good point to enter a short, and since then it basically went to my 78.6 line here, which is exactly what I expected, you know, in this line going down to the 78.6 to the 78.6 here. Now I had other requests. For example, not everything was bearish, but most of it. I'm just showing the ones that are going bearish because I think it has more value for people, because it helps, you know, it helps people see that they should not be buying dips. It saves people, you know, it keeps people from losing money. If I show bearish charts and I explain, you know, how you can spot these things, so it helps. The whole reason I have this YouTube channel, the whole reason I started this YouTube channel is to help people, keep them from losing money, because there's a lot of hype out there in social media, and I love the hype, just like anyone else. When we go bullish, I mean, when bull cycles start, I'm calling for moons and Lambos as well. So, but you cannot be permanently bullish. You need to understand that markets go up and go down, and they will go down as hard as they went up. So it's just something normal. There's nothing you can do about it. But since there's so many people calling only for the hype, even when we are clearly downtrending, I think it has more value for me to show, you know, how to spot bearish trends and bearish signals, because I think it's going to help at least some people not to lose so much money. But with this said, my guys requested a few charts that were actually going bullish, and I said they were going bullish. For example, Monero, it's been bullish all this time until recently. DGXDAO, that one was really good. It was going up like in a very, very stable and nice uptrend. I believe it's gone bearish recently as well. I reviewed this chart for one of my members not that long ago, and I think it turned bearish now. I would have to look at it again, but it's been bullish for all this time when other coins were extra bearish. DGXDAO was bullish. Monero, DGXDAO, what was the other one? I can't remember, but I know there was a very few coins that were bullish. And, you know, I can review bullish charts as well and say, look, this looks bullish, it's going bullish so far, so always assume continuation. But most of them were going bearish, which are the ones I'm showing today. Guys, I think that's all for today. Sorry for the long video. I hope I didn't make you too bored with this, and I hope you learned some. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.